Do you have low back pain and think you might have a low back disc injury? Well, honestly, this topic, there are whole books written about this topic, but I'm going to try to condense it into a couple tips and movements that might be able to give you an idea if your low back pain is indeed a disc injury. So one of the fastest ways to know is what actually hurts the disc. Usually, if you have a disc injury, you will have pain with sitting. So your low back will hurt when you're sitting. And that's because when you're sitting, you get compression, and a lot of times, so compression, which is this top to bottom pressure this way. And then oftentimes when you're sitting, you're also getting a lot of rounding or flexion. So this sitting is rounding like this, plus that compression. Usually those things will irritate a disc. Both of those are two of the most common ways to irritate a disc. And both of those movements will cause disc pain by themselves. So if you've noticed that, going to pick something up off the floor or tying your shoes hurts your back, it's probably a low back disc. So if you want to just bend forward and see if you have a lot of pain with bending forward, it's probably a disc. If you have pain when you're sitting and bending forward, it's probably a disc as well. Also, if you have pain with coughing or sneezing or any movement like that, it's probably a disc. Discs can actually cause a lot of muscle pain. So if you have a lot of muscle spasming around your low back, like right about here, a lot of times that's your body's way of actually trying to protect the disc from, moving forward. So those muscles will start to spasm as you start to move forward. It's because the body's basically saying, we want those muscles to spasm up and make sure that the person can't continue to injure the structures. So the muscles will spasm up to protect the disc sometimes. So oftentimes people with disc injury will just say, oh, I just feel like I need a massage really bad. My back's so stiff and tight, usually in the morning. Discs will actually so the disc looks like this and it will get a little bit more fluid in the mornings. The last 3 hours that you're asleep typically is when your disc will start to fill up. And if there are little tears in your disc and it starts to fill up, those tears will actually be pulled apart as they're trying to come together and heal and scar up. And so that will cause more pain. So disc pain is more common in the morning for that very reason. Another way to know that is if you kind of bend forward with your neck and you start to feel low back pain, could be a disc. If you bend forward and go here and, notice that lifting up your leg actually starts to hurt too, even if you don't bring the leg all the way up, that'll also be a good sign that it's a disc. So those are all good ways to tell if it's a disc. Pain with sitting, pain in the morning, really stiff lower back, pain with trying to bend over and pick things up, pain every time you try to round your spine. Those are all good signs that you might have a disc injury. And if you do, don't be alarmed. A lot of times disc injuries are really easily fixed with movement-based therapies. And a lot of time, if you do have a disc injury, don't be alarmed. A lot of times disc injuries are really easily fixed through movement-based therapies and strength work as well. So if you think you have a disc injury, leave me a comment below, send me a question through my email. It's in the description, or subscribe, or find the best movement-based practitioner in your area. They might be able to help you well with a disc. Thank you.